King Vance, just in case you didn't know, now you do. In this next video, I just want to talk about a topic or a situation that I've seen a few times on social media. In particular, me and my cousin was going back and forth about this topic, and I thought it'd be a dope idea to, bring it to the masses and see what everybody had to say about it. And with that being said, the topic is basically how would people feel about their exes dating family members and friends. So I know some people, look at this topic and they might think about it and be like on some, well, you shouldn't care, whatever, it's your ex, move on, this, that, and third, it shouldn't be no feelings. And in most cases, that's true. But even when they, move on to new people that you necessarily don't know, they might be talking to a random person, and people still might, have some type of feelings. And it might not be feelings for that person in particular. It could be just feelings. It could be hurt feelings. Wasn't really no closure to, how you guys ended, or, whatever the case may be. I know for me personally, because I can only speak for myself. So for me personally, I would say that it depends on the ex and it depends on the family member. And what I mean by that is, if I've been dating somebody, and matter of fact, let's just turn it into my wife. Let's say me and my wife get a divorce, right? So we've been married for like 10 years. I ain't gonna say like 10 years. We've been married for 10 years, going on 11 in probably about another 5 months or so. It'd be 11 years. So let's say we split, we get a divorce, right? Now, being together for that long, we both know each other's family members. We both know each other's friends, or at least know of them if we don't know them personally. So let's say we get a divorce and she ends up talking to a family member that she knows is my family member, or she ends up talking to one of the bros, right? I'm gonna feel some type of way about that, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna look at it like y'all always had eyes for each other, or y'all always had feelings for each other, or it's just something about that just don't rub me right. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I know it's a lot of people like to say it's somebody for everybody, stuff like that. And I kind of get that. I understand that. But I feel like morally, that's just wrong. Like that's wrong. And what me and my cousin was discussing, what he was saying was, regardless of the fact, it shouldn't bother us. But that's going to bother you. And it's not that I disagree with him, because I actually agree with him. Like, it shouldn't bother you. But for me, I know for me personally, it would. Like I say, it depends on the ex and it depends on the family member or the friend. That would definitely bother me. I couldn't see myself being around a family member. We had a family function and your family member shows up with your ex, right? How would that make you feel? Now you got to sit there and watch them two, pretty much be together in your face when y'all was literally just together. Or it ain't even got to be necessarily y'all was just together. It could have just been like, I don't know, it could have been a few years or so. To me, I just feel like exes, family, and friends that's just off limits, man. That'd be like me getting one of her cousins or one of her friends or something. Like, people gonna look at us funny. I wouldn't even do nothing like that. Like, I wouldn't even move in that way. That's just all the way around just wrong. That's just all the way wrong. So this is just like a topic that I feel like, people should really talk about, because one of the Facebook statuses that I seen that, caught my eye on this topic to begin with was, the young lady was hinting to, because she didn't really come out and say, but she was kind of hinting to her own sister was sleeping with one of her ex-boyfriends. And I was like, dang, that's kind of crazy. And then when I got done reading that, my cousin had a Facebook status that's basically saying, how people need to kind of let people be with who they want to be with type stuff. So, and like I said, I get that, I understood that, but that ain't rocking for me, man. Like, that's not rocking for me. Because at the end of the day, if you know that's my family member, you shouldn't even be talking to him. And that's my family member, you knew that was my woman, you shouldn't even be talking to her. And I feel the same way with my friends, depending on the friend. If it's like some associate dude, somebody that I, was cool with, but we ain't necessarily call each other friends, then all right, whatever. You can have that. I'm not tripping. It is what it is. I might I might look at you a little different too, but at the end of the day, if we weren't really cool like that, I can't really be mad. I can't really blame you for the move that you just made. So it's whatever. I might still look at her weird, but it's cool. I just don't see. I don't know, man, because if we did get a divorce and she ended up finding somebody else, just some old regular dude never seen before, never met before, never had no type of interaction with. She never met him before. They met on some just being in the same place at the same time type of deal. And I don't know. I just that went anyway. It just be like, all right, whatever. But a friend, a family member, that hits a little different. That, like I said, it just makes me feel like y'all already had um eyes for each other, or y'all already had some type of communication, or it just don't make me. I don't know. It's kind of like when people say when you break up with somebody and then you instantly get with somebody else, and they feel like you've been talking to that person or you've been had something. You might not have been talking to that person. You just broke up with somebody. Maybe I was having a conversation. It came out like, yo, you want to hang out, this, that, and the third. And it was like, oh, well, I thought you was with such and such. And it was like, oh, no, we just broke up. We ain't together no more, whatever. Person was, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can do that type. You know what I mean? It might be that type of situation. And the same with the family member and the friend or whatever. Y'all might just be on, so, let's go hang out. Let's go do this. And so even talk about what situation or, what's going on. Might not be nothing, but it turns into something. But in my eyes, I'm going to look at it like y'all been trying to talk to each other, or, y'all been had, some type of communication or whatever. So I just don't feel like that's I don't know, man. I don't know how much further that just don't sit right with me, man. Like I just don't get the whole I don't get the whole movement, man. That's just like if I got with somebody my cousin was talking to, I wouldn't feel right. Like you was literally with my cousin. I wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't feel right to me. It didn't depend on what cousin it is though, because at the end of the day, I don't know all my cousins. Um, I'm not that close to a lot of my cousins, which is why I say it depends on what cousin, it depends on, what friend, because not everybody is gonna hit hard, like if it's a distant cousin that I know of, but I don't really talk to like that, don't really rock with that person, not necessarily beef, it's just we just don't rock or we don't talk, then it don't really bother me none. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't. That just ain't right, man. That ain't right at all, man. At all. I mean, y'all can tell me y'all thoughts, how y'all feel about the situation. Do you care? I know I asked this question on Facebook before. This was like some years back, man. I was actually asking the same type of question, but it was more so, yeah, it was the same type of question. It was, would you care if your ex got with a friend, or a friend that you consider family, or a family member? And I had quite a few people that actually were just like they wouldn't care, and I'm just like, damn, am I tripping for caring for that? Because I care about that. Like that would definitely make me feel some type of way. Just think about somebody that you were real cool with as a friend that you consider family, and you look up and they dating somebody you was just with. That ain't gonna look funny to you. Like I know some people gonna be like, bro, it don't make a difference who it is. Basically, what my cousin was saying, like we don't own none of these people, so it ain't like we got the rights to these people forever, type stuff. So it's like, and I get that. Like it shouldn't matter. Once an ex is an ex, but certain things happens in relationships, particular bonds build in relationships, whether they last or they don't. Bonds get made, all kind of stuff get made. So it's like when you look at who they move on to, it makes you look at them depending on who it is. Like I said, if there ain't nobody that you know, you kind of more easy going with them, moving on, whatever. I ain't worried about it. It's whatever. But when it's a family member or it's a close friend that you consider to be family, that hits a little different. That's a little bit more different than them just moving on to some random dude or some random woman. I didn't see people fall out over stuff like little things, like them moving on with regular people, and people's got a problem with it because it's the feelings that's there. If you break up with somebody and let's just say both of y'all just decided like it was a mutual agreement to just break it up. It might be easier for you to be like, all right, you know what? She just wasn't the one for me, or he wasn't the one for me, and y'all just decided to go y'all own separate ways. But it's another feeling when you have that type of breakup and they move on to a friend and a family member. Like, do a lot of y'all even have that happen to y'all for y'all to fully understand, what that would mean? Like, I've never had that happen to me, but I know for a fact I would feel a certain way. I'm just being honest. I'm just keeping it real. That's my opinion on this whole situation, is that I would more than likely have a problem with that. And I probably wouldn't speak to neither one of them again. You call me petty all you want. I'd be petty. I'd be the petty king. All that good stuff or bad stuff, whatever you want to call it. I would be all of that. But I'm most definitely ain't feeling it. I'm not rocking with it. Ain't nothing nobody can say. Even if I agree with you, I'm not rocking with it. Like, I agree with my cousin. It shouldn't matter. I shouldn't care. Move on with my life. Because eventually I'm going to find somebody else too, right? But I guarantee it won't be her friend. It won't be her cousin. I can guarantee that. I will 100% guarantee that. I would never do that. Would never do that. Never do that. Would say, oh, never say never. No, I would never do that. I could never do that because it's, for me, is looking at myself and being able to say, this was a good idea. And no, that's not a good idea. I'm one of them people who hold myself to the same standard that I would hold somebody else to. Like, if I don't want you to do something, then I'm not going to do it either. I can't. Well, I'm going to say I'm not going to do it either because everybody makes mistakes, but what I be doing is wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I know I wouldn't want any of my exes to go off and be with somebody that's like a friend or a family member, I'm not going to go off and be dating their friends or family members. Now, it's one thing if you don't know and you just happen to find out, down the line that they, such cousins that are third, it's like, oh, I ain't know that. And it's already there. But if I know that's your cousin, if I know that's your friend, or that's my cousin, that's my friend, and we just continue to keep on just doing what we do, that's not good at all. Like, that's not good. And I don't even know how you'd be able to look at yourself or um, to even live with yourself. But some people don't care, and that's like, even with me telling my cousin he was right, this, that, and the third. If any of my exes that knew he was my cousin and got with him, I would have a whole issue with him and them. Like, there would be a whole issue. And I know people say they don't fall out over women, they're not gonna fight over women. I'm not gonna fight you over no woman, dog. That's my ex. I'm not fighting over, for one, I'm not fighting over an ex. That's just out of the question. I'm not fighting nobody for nobody. That's dead. But I'll feel some type of way to the point where I will stop talking, because that's all I'm gonna be able to think about. That'd be something that I had to get over with, get over that myself. Like, that's something that I just, I don't know. I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. And for the people who feel like my cousin and feel like, what, gotta move on, let them do what they want to do. Just that, the third. To me, looking at it, even though I've never been through it, but to me, looking at it, from my point of view, I would like to think that it's easier said than done. Meaning, it's easy to say, oh man, let them do what they're gonna do, up the bam, but let it happen. Let it happen, and I guarantee you it feel a little different. You're gonna feel a little different. I mean, it's still going to be the same as you can't do nothing about it. You don't own them. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm not saying to go out and do anything, do anything to anybody about anything. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. Like, to me, it's just wrong. It's morally wrong. Like, you shouldn't even feel comfortable even looking at somebody's ex. Well, I ain't gonna say that because everybody look. I mean, everybody looks. Ain't nothing you can do with that. People look. But to go forward with that, to actually put yourself in position to date someone that you know or you inside should be off limits. And I kind of feel like the respect level has to be there for somebody that you're friends with or family with to stay away from the ex. Because even with it being an ex, the ex also got to have that respect level as well. Because if the respect level is there, nobody is. It's not even a. It's not even a situation. There's nothing that can happen. I got plenty of homeboys, cousins. If they was to break up with their woman, and I go after that woman, everybody's gonna look at me like, bro, you tweaking, like you tripping. So that's the same. It's the same thing. If one of my exes goes after one of my friends or my cousins that knows it's a friend or a cousin, a family member, whatever, not necessarily a cousin, but just any family member, that's wrong. There's no way to flip it. There's no way to. It's wrong. And maybe they meant to be together. Who knows? I don't know. I don't make these rules, but I just know that is wrong. Like, it's wrong. Now when I say ex, because I don't want y'all to think everybody that you ever talk to in life is an ex. Everybody is not an ex. If you ain't date the person for about at least a year, it's not really considered an ex. You can build bonds in a short amount of time. And I don't have too many exes that I dealt with for at least a year or more, other than my wife. Everybody else only been like maybe 4 or 5 months tops. I think I had one relationship that lasts maybe almost a year or close to. But yeah, my wife is like the longest relationship I ever been in. So a lot of my exes, it really wouldn't count for me. Think some probably would get the side eye a little bit, but not all of them. Honestly, with the exes I have, I wouldn't care. I think I was speaking more so on my wife just because she would know my cousins. She would know my friends. My friends know her. My cousins know her. So that would be more of an issue for me. My other exes, I probably wouldn't care because wasn't together long enough for me to really, for anybody to really meet them like that. For them to even know who's my cousin, who's not, and who's really a friend like that and who's not. Like, people wouldn't. So if I was to see that, down the line a couple of years later, one of them post something and I see them together, I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. But I guess with my wife, it's a little different because she knows who's who and they know who she is. So that would be different. So I guess to me, I'm speaking more so of my current situation instead of an actual ex. But I can still feel the way I feel because it's wrong. And it ain't too many people out there that can honestly care. It's really not that many. It's easy to say you wouldn't care when it ain't happened yet. That's like speaking on a situation of what you would do if you was in a situation, but you technically can't say what you would do in a situation if you ain't never been in it. So it's not the same thing. All right, so yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to stretch this out too much longer. Just want to give y'all my opinion on how I feel about exes, dating, family members, and friends. If I missed any points that y'all feel like I should have made, or anything that y'all got an opinion on, leave your comments down below. And let me know what y'all think, man. Till then, peace out. See you in the next video.